Good afternoon and welcome to the CUC softball field for today's Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference matchup between your Cougars of Concordia University Chicago and the visiting Eagles of Benedictine University. Peter Borkowski joining you on the Cougar Sports Network, and in a little bit I'll also be joined by Parker Kelly. But until then, we have a softball game on our hands, and it's a big one standings-wise. We are nearing the end of the season. The Cougars' regular season will wrap up in a week next Saturday. They play Marion in a doubleheader that Friday, and then finish off the season against Dominican on Saturday. So big stretch of games here for CUC. They currently sit at 15-15-1 overall, 7-7-1 in conference play. 7th in the NAC right now, 1 seed out of the playoffs, and in that final seed for a playoff spot is Benedictine themselves, 21-13 overall. However, they've played 500 ball in the NAC, going 9-9. So a big doubleheader today between the 6th and 7th seed. Now, forgot to mention it was supposed to be a doubleheader. Instead, it will just be one game due to weather concerns. So just a single game today. We'll see what happens to that other scheduled game. It's been a rainy day here in River Forest. Now it's cleared up here. Some sunshine, trying to break through the cloud coverage. Temperature in the low 50s. A little breeze going on as well, but like I said, much better than what it was just a few hours ago with rain coming down. Now in the drier conditions, the two teams take the field, get ready to play in a big game with playoff implications. And Benedictine, they'll be up to bat first as Cougars finish up their defensive warm-ups. Benedictine right now, they are, like I said, 6th in the conference, sitting in that last playoff spot. And in terms of runs scored, this is the best offense in the conference. 208 runs scored over 34 games played. The Cougars, though, they trail Benedictine by just 4 runs in 3 less games as well. So the top 2 offenses in this conference going at it today, and it starts with Benedictine at the plate as the first pitch is upstairs and away for ball 1, and it comes from the CUC starting pitcher Ashley Schroll, who, despite just being a sophomore, has taken control of this Cougars rotation, currently leads the team in stats like ERA, wins, appearances, innings pitched, as she gets a swing and a miss for strike 1. So Schroll, just a sophomore, she was ranked number 2 in the country in saves on the season this past week, as this ball is high for ball 2. So number 26 in white doing good work for the Cougars. She's currently pitching to number 15 on Benedictine. That is Taylor Scraba. The 2-1 is up and away, so turn that into a 3-1 on the season. Scraba, a .388 batting average. She's played and started in all 34 of Benedictine's games this year. 47 hits in her 121 at-bats. As she has a 3-1 count. She makes contact with this one. It's a pop fly into right field. Nikita Robbins gets under it, makes the grab for out number 1. Good work by Schroll in the circle, falls in the 3-1 hole, and then induces the fly out of the Benedictine leadoff hitter. And now that brings up number 3, Jasmine Lozana, second baseman for Benedictine today on the season. Lozana leads the Eagles in batting average, .442, as she takes strike 1. Has also played and started in all 34 games for the Eagles. Currently facing the 0-1 pitch from Schroll. She checks the signs and delivers. Foul tip. Going to go out of play on the Division Street. So now an 0-2 hole for Lozano. Schroll has a chance for strikeout number 1 on the day. On deck is Ashley Fisher. Last Eagle guaranteed to hit as Schroll tries to get Lozano to chase on that one. Doesn't get a bite, so 1-2 the count now. Benedictine third in the conference as this one misses for ball 2. Gets past CUC catcher Jessica Gang as well. Benedictine third in the conference in batting average, .339. So a well-hitting team. Scores the most runs in the conference total. Putting the Cougars defense to test today as this one's upstairs. Full count now. Good eye by Lozano to get the count to 3-2 after falling in the 0-2 hole. Now Schroll gets set. The 3-2. And it misses for ball 4. So after Schroll had the 0-2 count going, 4 straight balls puts Lozano on first. And now it'll bring up the first baseman for Benedictine, Ashley Fisher. Fisher comes to the plate, a .415 hitter that ranks second on this Eagles lineup behind Lozano. 34 games played, 34 starts for number 17 as this one is upstairs for ball 1. Benedictine wearing their traveling all-black unis while Cougars have the maroon pants, white jersey combo. The 1-0 misses the throw to second in time. Lozano took off. Jess Gang able to gun her down with the throw to shortstop Becky Peroni, and there's out number 2 for the Cougars. Great throw there from Gang behind the plate. Lozano out, caught stealing. And now Fisher 2-0. It makes contact past a falling Archuleta at third. It rolls into left field for a single. So with 2 outs now, runner at first base, and that'll bring up number 8, Taylor Openheis. Another above 300 hitter on this Benedictine squad. Quite a number of them. 29 games played, 29 starts. Today she gets to start at third base. As she takes pitch number 1 for ball 1. Schroll gets set and delivers. Weak contact. Peroni scoops it up, throws the first in time for the ground out, and that does it for the top of the first. Benedictine gets a couple base runners, but brings nothing across the plate. So Cougars, they'll come up to bat in just a minute. You're watching the Cougar Sports Network. No score yet between the Eagles and the Cougars. Bottom of the first here in River Forest. Cougars, Eagles, no score after Ashley Schroll and the Cougars defense kept the Eagles off the board in the top of the first. Now the Cougars will get their first crack at the plate, and it starts with the leadoff hitter, Becky Peroni, former All-American for CUC, and she's having herself another heck of a season as pitch number 1 finds its way in there for a strike. On the season, Peroni, .490 batting average in 31 games played, 47 hits and 96 at-bats, 24 RBIs as she takes a swing at that one for strike 2. Peroni, top 5 in multiple stats in the conference, such as batting average, on-base plus slugging, and runs scored. She leads the conference in that runs scored category as she takes ball 1 there. And her opponent in the circle right now is Alexandra Loizon. Loizon 11-6 on the year as this pitch is poked into center, but making the grab it is an outreaching Lozano. So out number 1. It was looking good, but Lozano able to get it over and make the grab. So with 1 out, it'll now be the freshman Haley Goldsby, but Loizon in the circle in 18 appearances, which includes 17 starts, 96 2/3 in innings pitched, 2.39 ERA. Able to strike out 82 in those, what is now 97 innings after the out. As Goldsby pops it up, it's going to go out of play, though. And now a 1-1 count on the freshman from Florida. The 1-1. This is a pop fly into left field. It's drifting foul, and not being able to make the grab was Scraba in left field. It luckily was in foul territory, so Goldsby's going to have to make her way back to home. Scraba able to get under it, just bobbles the catch, so Goldsby gets a second chance here at the plate. Behind Goldsby, last Cougar guaranteed to hit this inning is Hodgick, as this one is away for ball 2. And currently in the hole is Haley Howard. So a 2-2 count on the Cougar center fielder. Now here's a fly into right, and barely having to move her feet to get to it is Schmidt for out number 2. So with 2 outs, it'll bring up another freshman, Melissa Hodgick, designated player today for the Cougars. Hodgick, .373 average in 28 games played. 22 of those have been starts. 28 hits across 75 at-bats as the first pitch misses for ball 1. Mentioned it, Hodgick, one of the numerous freshmen who are getting their chance to shine this year for a younger Cougars team as she swings at the next pitch, and it's going to go foul and out of play. 1-1 now. Goldsby batted before Hodgick, freshman. Current batter Hodgick, freshman. Larissa Santos up in the hole right now, freshman herself. And Emma Borelli's gotten plenty of time pitching for the Cougars, as this one is too far up, ball 2. So a young core here for the Cougars, as well as a couple veteran players as well. Very nicely balanced roster as Hodgick swings and misses for strike 2. Loizon looking for the first strikeout of the day from either squad as she delivers outside. Now it's a full count. Loizon, a graduate student out of Channahon, Illinois. The 3-2. This one, it's a deep drive into center, and making the grab just a couple feet in front of the wall is Franklin, the center fielder, for out number 3. Hodgick gave that ball a deep right to center. Instead, it represents out number 3. So we're going to head to the second inning now. Still no score between the Cougars and the Eagles. Top of the second here in River Forest. Cougars, Eagles, still no score. And now I'm joined, my color analyst for today's game, Parker Kelly. Parker, I talked about it a little up top, but the playoff implications for this game are massive. Benedictine just 1 seed ahead of the Cougars in that final playoff seed. I mean, we're getting towards the end of the season. This is just a massive game for both of these teams.
Absolutely. Benedictine sitting at 6th in the NAC with a record of 9-9 in the conference. The Cougars, on the other hand, sitting at 7th with that 7-7.
Whoa, what a grab! Gina Westfall, sorry to interrupt you, Parker, but put that one on SportsCenter top 10. That looked destined to be a single for the leadoff hitter, Colleen Schmidt. Instead, Gina Westfall robs her for out number 1. What a grab from the left fielder.
What an amazing play right there. And, Peter, you had every right to interrupt. But going back to what I was saying, Benedictine sitting at 6 in the conference, CUC at 7. This game has major implications as far as the conference tournament. It'll be interesting to see what the outcome is.
So with 1 out after the highlight grab from Gina Westfall, that brings up Victoria Duzinski to the plate. Duzinski on the year as the count now 1-1. Has played in just 20 games with 18 starts, a .302 hitter. And I mean, Parker, I briefly mentioned it, but there are so many, as this one is off the top of Gang's mitt for strike number 2. There are so many good contact hitters on this Benedictine lineup. I mean, I talked about just how many 300-plus hitters there are, and Duzinski's another example of that with her .302 average. It's one of those lineups that just doesn't give you any kind of break throughout the order.
Absolutely. They have 8 batters with an above .300 hitting percentage. This is a very good Benedictine hitting squad, who you mentioned 3rd in the NAC in hitting percentage with .339. They're a very well-rounded team. It'll be a tough test for the Cougars today.
Duzinski fouls that one off. So she'll stay alive. Count still out 1-2 against Schroll back in the circle as another foul ball. So the count remains at 1-2. Duzinski gets set, so to Schroll, she delivers. This one is in fair territory. Going back, tracking it is Nikita Robbins, reels it in for out number 2, and representing the last chance for Benny to get on base in this inning is Morgan Bruno, a .305 hitter on the season. And Parker, so far, Schroll's done a really nice job of limiting hard contact. Besides the one hit and then maybe that line drive that Westfall was able to catch, Benedictine is not getting much on any of these pitches. As here's a hit up the middle, just as I'm saying that. So Bruno will reach with a single, which extends the inning a little longer, but that's really Schroll's calling card all season, Parker, has been that soft contact. It's just hard to get anything solid off of her pitches.
And I was getting ready to say, we've talked about how great this Benedictine team is on the offensive end, but I've been very impressed by the Cougars so far, just allowing the Eagles to be 2 for 6 from behind the plate. It's been very impressive so far.
So with a runner on, it's now Becky Roncone as Bruno thinks about second. Gang just stands up and threatens the throw, and that sends her back to first. We saw Gang throw out Lozano trying to steal back in the first. As a swing and a miss. Now Roncone will take Bruno will take off, and she'll make it safely into second. Throw a little too low, and some aggressive base running, Parker, with 2 outs here from the Eagles.
Absolutely. They're not intimidated by this Cougars defense. They've shown that so far, but they're definitely doing a great job as far as stealing bases is concerned.
1-1 turns into 2-1, and you know, you figure with 2 outs, might as well try to get the runner into scoring position, as a solid single from Roncone here will drive in Bruno from second, as it's now a 3-1 count. Parker, 3-1, 2 outs, runner in scoring position. I mean, what do you think we're going to see from Schroll here?
I think we might see a fastball right here just to get Benedictine swinging.
As this one is upstairs, no good, so it's ball 4. A 4-1 walk to Roncone, and Gang has a meeting with her fellow sophomore in the circle, as Benedictine now has runners at first and second. Nina Franklin up to bat, the center fielder, number 9 hitter for Benedictine. And this is going to be a big out for the Cougars to get here, Parker. You got the 9 hitter here with 2 outs. If you don't get her out, even if she doesn't score a run, that brings us back to the top of the Benedictine lineup, who you don't want to face with 1 or 2 runners in scoring position.
Absolutely. A strikeout right here would be huge from Schroll.
And now a throw to first, as Roncone took off a little too fast, and Howard able to make the grab, but too far in front of the plate to attempt any play. 0-1 count now on Franklin, as that pitch is in there for strike 2. 0-2 count now. Franklin on the year, 243 average. Played and started in all 34 Benedictine games this year, as the 0-2 just misses. 1-2 now. I doubt we see Schroll give anything to Franklin here, Parker. 1-2 count. She's in control, and you don't want to give her anything over the middle that she could possibly score a run on.
Absolutely, and that was a very close call on that last pitch.
Now here's a play. Santos gloves it, steps on second base for out number 3. Nice play from the freshman second baseman for the Cougars, and that'll do it for inning number 2. Benedictine gets a couple base runners. Still no runs across home plate, though. We're going to head to the bottom of the second. Cougars, Eagles, still no score.
That was a huge out by Santos.
So after the big out by Santos to end last inning, It brings the Cougars back up to the plate, and one of the best hitters for this season at the dish right now, Parker, with Haley Howard having herself a great senior season, a nice cap off to her career here at CUC. 421 hitter, but she's done so much more than just be a good contact hitter this year.
Absolutely. She gets it done on both sides of the ball, but especially what stands out is her hitting. That 421 batting average, which ranks 11th in the NAC. She's been huge as far as leadership is concerned for this young team that we talked about. She's looking to have a big performance here this afternoon.
0-1 against Loizon now for Howard as the pitch is popped up, immediately goes out of play, foul ball. So 0-2 now against Loizon. Cougars still looking for their first base runner. 1-2-3, bottom of the first from Loizon. The scene as the graduate student looks in control as this one misses upstairs. Howard will be followed up by Arissa Santos. Made that nice play at the end of the last inning. As this one grounded softly. It's going to be a close play at first. Just in time. Going down into the splits to make the play was Fisher. Nice 6-3 ground out there from Benedictine. And now it'll be Arissa Santos at the plate.
It was a really athletic play there on first base by Fisher. Doing the splits like you mentioned to get that out.
Arissa Santos, second on the team in batting average with her 444 mark. 30 games played, all of which have been starts. As the first pitch from Loizon just misses for ball one. Parker, before you were able to join us, I talked about how important this freshman group has been to the Cougars, and I think Santos is one of the headliners of that young core of players.
She's came in right away and has produced
as here's a deep
immediately.
drive into left field. No doubter, Arissa Santos sends home run number 4 over the left field wall. Parker, I think we're going to need you to talk some more of this game because every time you try to make a point, something good happens out in left field. First was the Westfall play, and now the Santos home run, and the Cougars strike first. They're up 1-0 on the Eagles.
And now that's Santos' 4th home run of the year, which is second on this Cougars team behind Becky Peroni with 5. Santos has come in and made an immediate impact, and we just saw it right there.
So the solo shot from Santos, which was an absolute no-doubter, may I add. I mean, that was past the scoreboard here at CUC softball field as well. Just an absolute moonshot from the freshman. Gives the Cougars a 1-0 lead, and now that'll bring up Bella Archuleta, the third baseman for the Cougars. 341 batting average, former NAC South Freshman of the Year 2 years ago, as she's now a junior in this lineup.
And going back to that Santos hit, that was the Cougars' first hit this afternoon, and it might just be the spark that they need to get going.
Well, I've mentioned it a couple times, this Cougars offense, as a foul ball here from Archuleta. Some people out in the streets, they got to be mindful as that ball makes its way onto the division. This Cougars lineup just as lethal as the Benedictine one. They are first in the conference in batting average, 346 going in today, as a ball makes its way onto the field. I think someone who found the ball out in the street chucked it back onto the field.
Nice heads-up play right there from the pedestrian.
So to try to maybe give them a uniform and a tryout, but for now, a 2-2 from Bella Archuleta. With this Cougars lineup, I said second in the conference in runs scored at 204 in their 31 games played. Here's an absolute rope into left field, but making the running grab was Scraba. And now with 2 outs, it'll bring up Jess Gang, sophomore catcher. And before we talk about Gang, Parker, besides the one pitch to Santos that was knocked out of the park, I mean, Loizon's done an absolutely fantastic job controlling this Cougars lineup. Again, besides that home run, Cougars have not been on the base paths yet today.
Absolutely. The Cougars are only 1 for 6 from the plate today, only allowing 1 hit. You can't ask for much more, and Loizon's just done a great job from inside the circle.
And outside that 1 and 6 mark, no walks have been issued, no errors as well. Loizon helping her defense out as well, not giving them too many tough plays as Gang fouls this one off. Count now at 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 count now. As this one misses away, 2 and 2. Loizon throws the ball into her glove a couple times. Is now the 2-2. Hit right back at Loizon, and it's going to be an infield single for Jess Gang. Nice play by Bruno to keep it from going into the outfield, but Gang still gets on the base path with that 2-out single, and that'll bring up Gina Westfall.
It seemed that hit was just the perfect speed and allowed Gang to get to first. Really nice hit right there from Gang.
It's the Cougars' second hit of the day as Westfall, I think, tried to pull back and still hit her bat, so foul ball for strike 1. Nikita Robbins on deck, and then it's back to the top of the Cougars lineup with Becky Peroni in the hole. 2 outs, so it's going to be a tough task to get there as this next pitch to Westfall popped up just past the infield. Making the grab is Lozano, and that'll do it for the bottom of the second. But the Cougars strike first after the Arissa Santos solo shot to left field. We're going to head to the third inning now. Cougars up 1-0 on the Eagles. Top of the lineup due for the Eagles, and it starts with Taylor Scraba. Flew out to right field in the first at-bat of today's game, and she'll get a second crack at Ashley Schroll, who, Parker, besides some blips here and there, made it through the Benedictine lineup for the first time in relatively efficient manner.
And she hasn't given up a run so far, and this Eagles lineup is a team that can hit the ball really well. She's done her job through 2 innings.
Well, we'll see what they can do facing her for the second time, as it's a 1-0 count on Scraba. This one misses. Now 2-0 count. So Schroll gets the signs from Gang, delivers, misses again, 3-0. Now, I mean, Parker, you have a 3-0 count against one of the best hitters in this Benedictine lineup. I mean, what's the game plan here for Schroll? You can't issue a ball, but you don't want to give up a hit either.
Absolutely. Just do exactly that right there. But I'd like to go to the other side and talk about Scraba. She's a graduate student at Benedictine. The experience is really showing right here. Those first 3 pitches from Schroll decided not to swing at them. Really good eye by her, and you can tell her experience is paying off.
3-1, makes contact with it, goes foul. So 3-2 now. Good work by Schroll to fight back, at least get a full count here. Lozano on deck, Ashley Fisher in the hole. As the 3-2, this one goes foul as well. So we'll get set to do it again. And here comes the 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First punch out of the day for either pitcher. And what an at-bat from the Cougars pitcher. Parker falls in the 3-0 hole against the leadoff hitter. Comes back, gets a couple foul balls hit, and finishes off with the swinging strike.
I love the resilience, love the ability to battle back and end up getting her first strikeout of the game. First strikeout we've seen from either pitcher. That was excellent right there from Ashley Schroll.
On the season, Schroll now at 68 strikeouts. That ranks number 5 in the conference. As she now has a 2-0 count on the number 2 hitter, Jasmine Lozano, who walked in her first at-bat. She pops this one foul going onto the division street. And now it's 1-2. The 2-1 misses. 3-1 now. Lozano walked in her first at-bat before being cut down, trying to steal second base. Nice pick-off throw from Just Gang, as this one popped up into center field. Coming in to make the grab is Haley Goldsby, and that is out number 2.
This Cougars defense, I can't harp on it enough. It's just been so impressive through the 3 innings that we have played, not allowing a single run for the Eagles. It's just been so impressive.
And a part of that, Parker, and I talked about it before, is that the Eagles really aren't getting much off these pitches. As here's a pop-up, Gang tries to make the grab but runs into the netting instead. I think that ball hit the netting first, so it would not have counted. So 0-2 now on Ashley Fisher, but they're just not getting hard contact off any of these pitches, Parker, which makes the life for these defenders a lot easier, as they're not having to make highlight reel plays to get out.
And it's a two-way street. Schroll's doing a great job pitching. The Eagles just aren't getting behind the ball as well as they would like.
1-1 now on Ashley Fisher. Singled in her first at-bat as she absolutely lines this one foul right above the Benedictine dugout. So 1-2 now, and despite the 2 outs, this is the first time that Schroll's been ahead in the count this inning. Fell in the 3-0 hole against Scraba, and then a 2-0 hole from Lozano, as this one is knocked foul. That one will probably end up on Division Street. It does. So the count remains at 1-2. Fisher trying to get on base. Second time today. The pitch from Schroll just high right past the face of the batter. Fisher, and the count now at 2-2. That one rolls in the dirt, full count here. And Parker, even though Benedictine's has troubles getting on the base path, they're at least doing a good job of getting Schroll's pitch count up there. As this is another full count here. The pitch, misses for ball 4. Fisher takes her base at first, and that'll bring up open highs.
And Benedictine is a very patient team as far as batting is concerned. They don't swing at everything, and at some points it has benefited for them.
Well, Schroll now at 52 pitches through her 2 2/3 of an innings pitched as Gang threatens the throw down to first. Instead, just pockets the ball before giving it back to Schroll. 1-0 count on Taylor Openheis, who grounded out to Becky Peroni at short in her first at-bat. Working again with a runner on the base path as she pops this one up. A couple Cougars converge on it as Arissa Santos is the one to make the grab. And that'll do it for the top of the third. The Eagles strand a base runner. We're going to head to the bottom of the third inning. Cougars still up 1-0 on Benedictine. Bottom of the third inning. Nikita Robbins up to bat for the Cougars, but before we talk about the number 9 hitter for the Cougars, Parker, we got to talk about how good these two pitchers have been. Besides that one bad pitch to Santos, which turned into today's only run, Loizon's been absolutely dominant over this Cougars lineup, and then Troll's doing some good work for the CUC team as well. I mean, it looks like if this continues, we're going to be in store for a nice pitcher's duel today.
Yeah, we came into the game today expecting maybe an offensive matchup, but so far it's proven to be defense, and that just goes to show how great both pitchers have been. And so far it's a very tightly contested affair as we're in the bottom of the third.
So Robbins, a senior on this Cougars lineup as she takes ball 2. She currently hitting .384 in her 29 games played, 20 runs scored, 33 hits in 86 at-bats, on base 400. And so the 2-0 to Robbins. She decides to take a swing at that one. Results in strike 1.
Robbins has got to be careful right here. She leads the Cougars team in strikeouts with 15 so far on the season. She's a very anxious swinger. As that one gets through the gap.
She knocks that one into left field. And might lead the team in strikeouts, but she's been a very good hitter for the Cougars as well. So with the runner on first, we're to the top of the Cougars lineup with Becky Peroni. Peroni lined out to the second baseman in her first at-bat of the day. So see what the heavy hitter for CUC can do here in plate appearance number 2. Now it's a runner on base. As she takes that first pitch for a ball. That one finds its way into the strike zone. 1-1 now on Peroni. The pitch. Down low. Robin started to take off for second. And then shuffles her way back to first.
That was a good job of the Eagles defense being prepared. They saw that coming, and they were prepared, didn't allow it to happen.
Ron Cohn able to pop up quickly in case that throw needed to happen. Now contact here, play at the second base is in time. There will be no play at first, so Peroni hits into the fielder's choice. She gets to first safely, but Robbins thrown out at second. And now that'll bring up Haley Goldsby. She flew out to right field in her first at-bat, so see what the freshman can do now. As she takes strike one there. Goldsby shows bunt, instead pops it up, and almost making a really nice grab was Ron Cohn behind the plate. Instead, that one hits off her glove, goes foul. So 0-2 count, but Goldsby gets to stay alive for another pitch. One out, 0-2 count on the freshman out of Inglewood, Florida. Runner at first in Peroni. This pitch upstairs for ball number one.
Good eye right there from Goldsby, not swinging at that one, getting the 1-2 count so far.
Well, we've yet to see back-to-back Cougars get hits, or as this one is hit into center field for a base knock. A one-out single from Goldsby advances Peroni over to second. And now with runners at first and second, it is Melissa Hodgdick up to the plate. And Parker, this is a very good hitter to have at the plate right now. 373 average coming in today. Did fly out to center in her first at-bat. She took that ball on an absolute ride, though, just a couple feet in front of the fence, as that one is in there for strike one. So maybe she could add just a couple more feet to this next ball and possibly drive in a couple runs for the Cougars.
She did absolutely rope that one, but like Santos, who we were talking about earlier, she's come in, Hadzik come in and produced right away, sporting a .373 batting average. She's done it all for the Cougars this season.
1-1 now on the freshman designated player for the Cougars. Is also seen some time behind the plate, some time at first. He's kind of settled into the designated players role though for CUC as she gets set. The 1-1, and it's a dribbler to short. They're going to get Peroni out at third. That is all, but a fielder's choice from Hodgdick. Benedictine gets the lead runner out at third, and now that'll bring up Haley Howard. But smart decision there from Bruno at short, Parker. She had a force at every base except home plate, and she decides to throw Peroni out, and now instead of two runners in scoring position, it's just one.
That was a smart play by her, and it looked like as Openheis was trying to throw to first to potentially get Hadzik out, Peroni slid into her, didn't allow her to get the throw off, but it was a smart decision from the shortstop.
This ball is fouled off. Haley Howard at the plate again, last inning in her first appearance of the day, grounded out to short. That was the first out of the second inning. So see what she can do here in the third, as this one low and away for ball one. The senior has some power behind her bat. See what she can do here, as this one clips the zone for strike two. And now the senior first baseman has to protect the zone a little. 1-2. The pitch. Away. Nice grab there by Ron Cohn, though. Make sure the runners stay where they are. Does it now count? Now evens out at 2-2.
Really nice grab by Ron Cohn. If she didn't make that grab, Maybe something bad could have happened.
2-2, the pitch, and this is hit to Bruno, throws over to first for out number 3. And that'll do it for the Cougars' scoring chance. They leave a few stranded, and we're going to head to the 4th inning now. Cougars still holding on to that 1-0 lead over Benedictine. Up at the plate, Colleen Schmidt now for Benedictine. Top of the 4th, excuse me. Cougars still holding on that 1-run lead over the Eagles. And Parker, as we get deeper in this Benedictine lineup for the 2nd time today, now is when you're going to start to expect, you expect to start seeing some results from this lineup. We've talked about how dangerous a batter's lineup this is for Benedictine, that they've had very little success against Schroll in the circle. Now, as we're getting deeper into the 2nd time around the lineup, you expect to see a couple more hits, or at least a couple more harder hits into play.
And especially from Schmidt, who's another good batter, sporting a .314 batting average. She's appeared and started in all the team's 34 games this season. Very experienced player. She can be dangerous.
She takes ball 1 from Schroll, and now takes ball 2 from Schroll. Schroll didn't allow a hit last inning. A strikeout, flyout, walk, and another flyout. As this one is popped up. It's going to be a tough play, and Haley Goldsby not able to get there, so ball hit in a no man's land leads to a leadoff single for Colleen Schmidt, and that's the first leadoff hitter to even reach base in any form, Parker, for Benedictine today. So see if they could do something with that, as this is the best start to an inning they've had thus far.
Absolutely, and she was the 3rd player to record a hit on the afternoon for the Eagles. Maybe it's just the spark they need.
Victoria Duzinski up to bat now, flew out as she lays down a bunt. Coming in to scoop it up is Haley Howard, throws back to first. Larissa Santos covering for the out. And now it'll be Morgan Bruno. The shortstop singled in her first at-bat back in the 2nd. Now she's got a runner in scoring position. And Bruno was the last runner to be in scoring position for Benedictine in that 2nd inning, reached 2nd as she jacks this one foul into the netting. So Cougars defense has to be on edge here, as any kind of decent hit could score Schmidt from 2nd. The 0-1. Misses upstairs for ball 1. And that pitch swung on and missed for strike number 2. And Parker, a strikeout would be huge here for Schroll. Anything put in play, Schmidt has a chance to advance to 3rd, even if it's a sac fly. So get the strikeout here and keep Schmidt at 2nd would be huge.
A strikeout would be ideal.
As here is that pop fly. It's in left field. Westfall makes the grab. That'll hold Schmidt at 2nd, so good work there from the sophomore hurler for the Cougars. And now with 2 outs, it is Becky Roncone. And A nice response here so far by Schroll in the circle, Parker. Lets the leadoff hit up and then able to get the next two batters out to bring it to 2 outs.
Absolutely. This Cougars defense still remaining stingy through 4 innings of play. It's exactly what Coach O'Malley Fisher wants to see from her squad.
Fouled back for strike number 1. Roncone walked in her first at-bat back in the 2nd inning. Nina Franklin on deck. The 0-1 in there for a strike. The throw to second. It gets past Santos. I don't know if Santos was expecting that. As Gang was trying to catch Schmidt sleeping off the base. So 0-2 count now. The pitch fouled back. Just getting a piece of it is the Benedictine catcher. The pitch. This one's hit. Santos makes the grab. Throw to first in time. Arissa Santos with the ground out is out number 3. And so we're going to head to the bottom of the 4th inning. We've reached the halfway mark of the game. Cougars still up 1-0 on Benedictine. They're going to look to pile on a couple more when we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Now up to bat is Arissa Santos. Last plate appearance, jacked a home run into left field. I mean, it was an absolute no-doubter from the freshman. As she'll get her second crack at Loizon today. And the pitch is low for ball 1. Now, how about a little bit of a history lesson between these two teams, as it's been largely dominated by Benedictine throughout their history, as the 1-0 turns into a 2-0 count. Last time the Cougars able to pull off a victory against Benedictine was at Lisle, Illinois, back on April 6, 2019. Since then, it's been 6 straight Eagle victories as Santos takes the first strike of the at-bat. And all time, Benedictine leads the history matchup. 31 wins to the Cougars' 4 wins, as the 2-1 is hit foul. So, Brooker, not only would a win today be big for the Cougars' playoff chance, I mean, it's just big historically against a team they have struggled against for much of their history.
And really, I mean, these two schools have a deep rivalry, and any time the Cougars are able to beat the Eagles or the Eagles able to beat the Cougars, it's a huge deal. So it goes way beyond just the conference tournament, but it's more of a pride thing as well.
That one way over the head of Schmidt. It's now a full count on Santos. Home run in her first at bat. Now gets the full count. She's had some nice success against Loizon. See what she can do here. 3-2. And this one goes foul into the left field corner. So we're going to get set to do it again.
That was roped out of play into left field by Santos.
And Santos, even when, it results in an out, she's just such a hard hitter. I mean, all of her, hits, fair, foul, out, whatever it may be, I mean, she just absolutely lines it everywhere over the field as the 3-2 is low for ball 4. So she doesn't even need to get contact on that one to reach first base. And with a runner on, it is now Bella Archuleta. Archuleta lined out to left field in her first at bat. Now she'll work with a runner on first in Santos. As she lays down a bunt, and it's going to get called back as it went foul before going into play, so it actually ends up as strike one. Now that element of surprise, Parker, taken out of play. I don't think they were expecting Archuleta to lay a bunt down there. She's a good hitter in her own right. But now, they're going to be expecting that again.
It was art of surprise right there from Archuleta. Fortunately, the ball went foul. But, yeah, you're right. The Eagles were not expecting that.
As she does try another bunt, this one goes foul as well. So now 2 strikes. She really can't try a bunt again or result being out if she fouls it off. Oh, 2 count on Archuleta. Loizon delivers outside for ball number 1. I forgot to mention, Parker, but I mean, that last walk to Santos, that was Loizon's first walk of the game. So, I mean, we've said it, besides the Santos home run, she's just been absolutely in control. As here's a hit up the middle and sliding into second in time is Santos. Interesting decision there, Parker, from Lozano, as she snagged the grounder from Archuleta, and instead of flipping it to Bruno at short, she instead tries to take it into second herself, and Santos's slide beats out the running Lozano.
And it almost looked like a slide tackle you'd see in soccer. Took out the second baseman, Lozano.
Now, a meeting on the mound for Benedictine, as this is really the first time that Loizon's been in trouble today. Well, last inning there was a runner on scoring position, but, they at least had an out with that time, Parker. Now you have a runner in scoring position, no runners out. You have a good hitter at the plate with Jessica Gang. Loizon's got to be really careful here.
Careful for sure. Got to be cautious. Jessica Gang looking to make her presence felt.
As she fakes, well, doesn't fake, she lays down a bunt, pulls it back as that one is outside for ball 1. Gang got a single in her first at bat. Single now might be able to score Santos depending on where it is, how hard hit it is. Now, Gang shows bunt. She lays this one down successfully. The throw to third, not in time. And runners safe at every plate. Bases loaded, nobody out. Beautiful bunt there from Jess Gang. They try to get the out at third. It's no good. Arissa Santos displaying the base running abilities, and now Loizon's really in trouble, Parker, as she can't afford any kind of mistake here.
No, Loizon had a great start to this game, but so far since in the past 3 batters, she's allowed 2 hits and 1 walk. She's got to be very careful, especially with Westfall up to the plate.
Well, and the problem is that it's not even Loizon's fault specifically. The defense just some interesting decision making, and here's a pop fly It's not going to leave the infield, so not what the doctor ordered on that one. Parker, if you're going to hit a pop fly with bases loaded, with runners in scoring position, you at least need to get it into the outfield, give those runners a chance to tag up and come across home.
And it looked like Westfall just didn't get all the way behind it like she wanted to, and resulted in the pop fly.
Nikita Robbins at the plate now. Singled in her first at-bat, was eventually thrown out at second on a fielder's choice. As she pops this one up, it's into right field. Arissa Santos is going to tag up. The throw to the plate, not in time. Schmidt drops the throw, and the Cougars able to get one in on the pop. The sac fly from Nikita Robbins. They increase their lead now 2-0.
Santos showing off the speed to get safe at home. It's been a great inning so far for the Cougars.
I wasn't sure if Santos was going to tag up there. I mean, Schmidt had a running start behind that catch, too, and it was a great throw, and Ron Cohn behind the plate just couldn't reel it in. She dropped it, and that allowed Santos to slide in safely. So now runners at first and second, 2 outs for Becky Peroni. 0 for 2 today, a line out in the first, and then a fielder's choice in the third. And she now has a 2-0 count against Loizon. And you expect Peroni to get something going here, Parker. It's not often you see her go 0 for 3. Again, she's a near 500 hitter on the season, so you expect her to start getting something going here, third time up against Loizon.
Yeah, in fact, it's very rare to see Peroni 0 for 2. Never really in this territory a whole lot.
Well, she's going to go 0 for 3 as she grounds out to the shortstop, and that'll do it for the bottom of the fourth. But the Cougars strike again. The sac fly from Nikita Robbins drives Arissa Santos home. Cougars up by a pair now, 2-0 against Benedictine. Cougar fans, a reminder to check out our website, cucougars.com, where you can find information about every team on campus, like CUC softball. All you have to do is go to cucougars.com, click on the sports section, and click on whatever team you're looking for, where you can find stats, schedules, rosters, social media, and more. Once again, that's cucougars.com. Meanwhile, back here on the CUC softball field, Cougars up 2-0 over Benedictine, and an 0-1 count now on the leadoff hitter for the inning, Nina Franklin. Make that 1-1. Franklin grounded out to Arissa Santos, who took it to second in her first at bat. As the 1-1 from Schroll hit sharply foul. And now a 1-2. Parker, there's a good benefit here as the 9-hitter is leading off for Benedictine. That means the Cougars have a decent chance at getting one out here before they get back to that dangerous top of the lineup. But you still got to take care of business against Franklin here.
Still got to take care of business, but an out right here would be huge.
And there is a hit in the left field. Franklin just pokes it in between Archuleta and Peroni for a leadoff single. Second leadoff single in a row we've seen from Benedictine, but Parker Schroll did a great job that last inning rebounding after a leadoff single from Colleen Schmidt. She got three straight outs. Excuse me.
And Schroll's done an excellent job of responding as we've seen so far today, and she's continued that as we're entering into the fifth inning.
And now this one hit right by Schroll into center field as Skraba gets her first hit of the day. And now runners at first and second with no outs. And after the challenge of the leadoff hitter getting on last inning, Parker, now we'll have to see how the Cougars defense responds to the first two hitters getting on. Still no outs with the 2, 3, and 4 hitter coming up next.
Now the Cougars defense is really going to have to step up after allowing 2 straight hits.
A bunt is laid down. The throw to first is just in time. Schroll came in to pick it up. Throws to Santos. It was a close one, but now runners at second and third, just 1 out. As Ashley Fisher comes to the plate, 1 for 1, a single in the first, and then a walk in the third. See what she can do here now. Her third time up against Schroll.
If you're the Cougars defense, you have to be aware the Eagles have 2 runners in scoring position. Can't allow much of anything right here.
1-0 count after the first pitch ball from Schroll. Fisher, the 3 hitter on deck, is the 4 hitter Open Highs. As this one is popped up, stays in the infield, and Santos makes the grab for out number 2. And we talked about it last inning when the same thing happened with the Cougars at the plate, but that's exactly what the defense wants there. It's a fly out, but it stays in the infield, so those runners don't have any chance of advancing. So 2 outs, runners still at second and third. The first pitch to the 4 hitter, Open Highs, is in there for a strike. Open Highs, ground out and a fly out in her first 2 at-bats. See what she can do here against Schroll now as this one misses. Gang threatens to throw to second. Parker, you got to be careful there. If you're Gang, if that throw gets by Santos at second, that likely scores a run for Benedictine.
You got to be careful. That's really what it boils down to. Like I mentioned, 2 runners in scoring position already for the Eagles.
Swing and a miss there. Now 2 strikes on Open Highs. Open Highs steps out, regathers herself as Schroll does as well. Now the 1-2 coming from Schroll, misses. 2-2. Even count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Schroll just misses. Ball number 3. Three and 2 now. 2 runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Schroll gets the punch out. Gets the Cougars out of the jam. Keeps Benny off the board. We are going to head to the bottom of the 5th. Cougars still up 2-0 after the Schroll punch out. You're watching the Cougars Sports Network. So we are here in the bottom of the fifth, excuse me. And Parker, what a response from Ashley Schroll in the top of the inning. 2 runners on, no outs, and then 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. She gets the infield fly, and then a huge swinging strikeout to end the inning.
And the Cougars could not afford to give up really any runs right there. 2 runners in scoring position. Nice job of Schroll just really stepping up, getting that final out of the inning and sending it to the bottom of the inning.
So now it'll bring up Haley Goldsby. 1 for 2 today, a fly out to right in her first at-bat, and then a single in the third. As the 0-1 bounces away from Ron Cohn, 2-0 now. So 1-1 as this one is lifted, and it's going to be a running play for Franklin. She makes it, though, so fly out for Haley Goldsby, and now it'll be Melissa Hodgick, who is 0 for 2, a fly out to center, and then a fielder's choice so far today. See what she could do here. Her 3rd time up against Loizon as she takes ball 1. The 1-0 misses. Excuse me, it's in there. Looked like it misses, but a late call from Mike Ginsky, the home plate umpire for today. James B. White Jr. over at first base and roaming around the infield as the 1-1 in there for strike 2. Hodgick has to go into protection mode here.
And really, Hadzik is just looking to get some type of connection, looking to get her first hit of the afternoon, and it would come at a big time for this Cougars team.
The 1-2 in the dirt. Count evened out at 2-2. As this one fouled back. Count still even out at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Haley Howard on deck. She's guaranteed to hit, and then Arissa Santos in the hole. As Hadjic, here's a drive into right field, and making a diving grab is Schmidt. What a play from the right fielder. And now with 2 outs, it'll be Haley Howard at the plate.
Phenomenal play right there from Schmidt, getting that grab right there. Cougars already 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
As here's a hit past a outreaching Lozano. And Haley Howard, a 2-out single, keeps the inning alive, and no one else you want at the plate right now other than Arissa Santos, Parker. She's figured out Loizon today. A home run in the 2nd inning, and then walked and scored a run in the 4th. She's been arguably the best hitter we've seen from either team so far today.
She's been the motor behind this Cougars offense here this afternoon. See if she can continue it. To keep it going.
She takes ball 1 from Loizon. Should mention no bullpens occupied by any warming up pitchers right now. So these starters have the green light from their coaches. Here's a deep pop fly into left center, and it's over the wall. Wasn't sure if that one had enough juice on it, but it did. How about that? A 2-home run day from Arissa Santos, throwing out the dabs across the base pass. And now Cougars are up 4-0 over Benedictine.
We were just talking about how Santos had figured out Loizon, and as soon as we say that, another home run off the bat of Santos comes at a huge time to put her team up 4 runs.
She drives in Haley Howard as well. So credit Haley Howard, able to keep the inning alive, at least get on base, force Santos to come up, ends up scoring a run, gives the Cougars this 4-run lead. But Orissa Santos, as Archuleta pops that one foul. I mean, I mentioned it, Parker, what that one wasn't sure if that was going to go out. It had a lot of height on it, but you really couldn't tell if it had enough distance on it, but it barely makes it over the fence, and a home run's a home run.
Hey, you and I both were thinking that. I thought it was just going to be a pop fly, but it ended up having the distance, and it was out of there.
So contrast to her first home run, which was just an absolute no-doubter into left field. This one makes its way across the fence, and now Archuleta 1-2 count. She's 1 for 2, a line out and a single so far today. And here's another single hit in a straightaway center from Bella Archuleta, her second hit of the day. And with the runner on, it'll bring up Jessica Gang, 2 for 2 on the day, 2 singles. So see if she can continue to make noise as well.
Cougars' bats are starting to fire up a little bit now. 9 hits so far in this game, a batting average of .409. Couldn't ask for a better inning so far for the Cougars.
Popped up, going foul. It will be foul. Took care of, fell through a tree behind the Cougars' dugout. Knocked some branches off. 0-2 now. Gina Westfall on deck as Gang, this one is gloved by Lozano, throws the first, and making the stretching play is Fisher for out number 3, but Orissa Santos puts another one over the wall. Home run number 2 on the day, drives in Haley Howard, gives the Cougars a 4-0 lead here. You're watching the Cougar Sports Network. Cougars taking on Benedictine. Cougars up 4-0 over the Benedictine Eagles after Orissa Santos hits a 2-run homer bottom of the 5th. Now top of the 6th, Benedictine up with Colleen Schmidt, Victoria Duzinski, and Morgan Bruno. And Parker, if you're Ashley Schroll, you can breathe easier a little bit now. Not that you want to let up, as here's a deep drive, but getting under it is Nikita Robbins for out number 1. As I was saying, not that you want to, lift your foot off the pedal at all, but if you're Schroll, now you have a 4-run lead here. You can, that pressure of being almost perfect is lifted off your shoulders. You can afford a couple more mistakes here and there because of that increased lead. So, and sometimes that leads pitchers to pitch even better.
Yeah. Definitely have a little bit more space to breathe if you're Ashley Schroll.
As there's a fly out to center. Not that she's really needed it. She's been just about perfect so far today, as Benedictine only able to get 5 hits off of her so far, no runs. She's got a pair of strikeouts as well. And she's made quick work, 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th, as it's now Morgan Bruno up to bat. And that one is a strike. First pitch taken in this inning by a Benedictine hitter. Bruno 1 for 2, a single and a fly out to left. The next pitch makes contact with it. Diving grab by Peroni. A late throw to first, however. So good job by Peroni to keep it in the infield, but not able to turn around quickly enough to get the throw over. A 2-out single by Bruno extends the inning, and now Becky Roncone, a walk and a ground out so far today, as she's now working with her shortstop on first.
And even though Peroni wasn't able to turn around and get the out, Cougars defense has been very impressive so far. 2 quick outs for the Eagles already, looking to get the third out right here.
As here's a pop-up, and making a grab is Arissa Santos. She's been all over the field defensively and offensively. She's driven in 3 of the 4 Cougars runs. She gets the final out here in the top of the 6th. Quick work from Schroll. We're going to head to the bottom of the inning now. Cougars still up 4-0 on the Eagles. Well, we're in the bottom of the 6th. Quick top of the 6th. 5-pitch inning from Ashley Schroll as she continues her brilliance over Benedictine. And now it'll be Gina Westfall to lead off things for the Cougars. Before we get started, though, I do want to say thanks to everyone making this broadcast possible. Katie Schrems working production. And then we are under the direction of Sydney Plaskas-Laher and Kayla McLeod. Parker Kelly joining me today on the broadcast here on the Cougar Sports Network, as that first pitch well outside for ball 1. One and oh, that misses as well. And Parker, I mean, that last inning, we saw Loizon kind of frazzled. I mean, the 2-run homer from Arissa Santos, Bella Archuleta, and Haley Howard also getting singles. And she's come out, looked a little shaky so far, as those first 2 pitches weren't even close.
You can tell that she's starting to wear down a little bit after allowing 2 home runs, 9 hits total.
Well, she does get Westfall to fly out there to Franklin in center, and now it'll be Nikita Robbins. So this could be the Cougars' last chance to build up on this lead before we head to the 7th inning. Well, they'll look to shut down Benedictine one last time. So time they had a couple insurance runs, as Nikita Robbins up at the plate now. The first pitch, she goes swinging, and it is foul just behind the third base bag. Robbins gets the cheers from her dugout to her right. Cougars coached by graduate assistant Izzy Ortiz, assistant Dave Galicko on the field, and then head coach Sarah O'Malley Fisher. As 1-1 now on Robbins. Tony Leopold, a recruiting coach for the Cougars, on the coaching lineup as well. And our SID's own Sydney Plessis-Laher also listed as a coach as on this softball team, though she's pulling SID duties up here today. Meanwhile, as another foul ball. This one avoids the car as that last foul ball able to ding one. Dangers of parking on Division Street during game day.
We've got a stalemate between Robbins and Loizon inside the circle.
As the next pitch. And this one right by the legs of Loizon. Robbins hits the 1-2 into center for a single, and now to bring up Becky Peroni. Benedictine, been waiting to say it, they're coached by Kathy Tumpain and Jenna Boyajan. Associate head coach is Lisa Gaskin, and the head coach in her 25th season, Kate Heidkamp. 658, 335, and 2 record. So Heidkamp seeing tons of success in the red and black as we have a pitching change here. The Cougars chase Loizon from the game. Coming in will be number 5, Bella Lodico. We'll have more on her in just a minute. She takes a couple warm-up pitches. Cougars up 4-0. You're watching the Cougar Sports Network. Back here after the warm-up session from new Benedictine pitcher Bella Ludico. On the season, Ludico 2-0 in 13 appearances, 4.07 ERA, as her first pitch is in there for a strike to Becky Peroni. So we'll get Loizon's final stat line in just a second, as she still has a runner on in Nikita Robbins. So we'll see how that affects Loizon's final stat line. Meanwhile, Lodico gets to work on Peroni. The 0-1 in there for strike 2. And Parker, you made a comment on it during the warm-up pitches, but Lodico's coming out here. She's throwing absolute heaters to these Cougars batters, and that's got to be a bit of adjustment after Loizon.
And that's one of the benefits of a fresh arm. And Lodico coming in here trying to not allow any runs, because from what we saw from Loizon, she was getting weary as the game progressed. They needed a fresh arm, and Lodico's proven to be solid here so far.
Well, she has a 1-2 count on today's leadoff hitter for CUC, Becky Peroni. 0 for 3 as the 1-2 misses outside. Peroni's lined out, hit into a fielder's choice, and then grounded out. So not the sharpest of days from the Cougars' big-time hitter. Still can do some damage here against the relief pitcher, Ludico. The pitch, Peroni did not go. Ball 3 is called. Full count now here for the CUC senior. As the 3-2, this one popped foul. Just misses a car out in the street. 3-2, 1 out. Pitch to Peroni. This one lifted into right field, and being able to track it is Schmidt for the out. And Parker, I mean, this is just kind of a great example about this Cougars lineup, is that even though Peroni's had herself a rough day going to 0 for 4, Cougars, they've had other hitters able to pick up the slack. I mean, we've seen Bella Archuleta get 2 singles. Haley Howard has a single. Haley Goldsby has a single. Jessica Gang has a couple of hits. And then, of course, Arissa Santos doing the bulk of the damage with her 2 home run day. And, I mean, that's just how powerful this CUC lineup is, that even if one of their hitters is having themselves a rough day, other hitters can pick themselves up.
Yeah, absolutely. Becky Peroni, who's been the leader of this team for quite a while, 0 for 4, but her other teammates have picked up the slack, the biggest one being Santos with those 2 home runs. The Cougars are having an excellent day as far as batting is concerned.
Goldsby swings at the 0-1. It's now 0-2. As the 0-2 misses, 1-2 now. Goldsby has to reach safely to extend the inning. On deck is Hodgick. Has yet to register a hit. Goldsby had a single back in the 3rd and then flew out twice. As the 1-2, this one chopped to Bruno at short, makes the throw over for the out. So that'll do it for the bottom of the 6th. Cougars unable to add any insurance runs. We're going to head to the top of the 7th as Ashley Schroll and the Cougars look to close out Benedictine up 4-0 here in River Forest. Top of the 7th here as the Cougars look to close out Benedictine. A little look ahead here. The second game from today should be made up this upcoming Wednesday at 4 p.m. That's not confirmed yet, but that's how things are looking. But before then, the Cougars will be back in action tomorrow at Rockford University, a 12 and 2 p.m. games. They'll be back here in River Forest to wrap up the season next weekend as Schroll fires strike one into Franklin. Cougars will have a doubleheader against Marion here on Friday and then a doubleheader on Saturday to wrap up the regular season against Dominican, as this is a line drive caught by Haley Howard. Talk about reaction time from the first baseman.
Man, just snagged that one right out of the air, and it was line drive to her. Nice heads-up play right there from Haley Howard.
So that's out number 1. Cougars now 2 away, but that doubleheader in 1 week against Dominican. Not only is that the Cougars' final pair of regular season games, it's also Senior Day, which was supposed to be today before all the schedule changes occurred. So make sure to pop out May 6th, 12 and 2, right here in River Forest for the conclusion to the Cougars' regular season as well as Senior Day. Well, 1-0 now on Scaba as she pops this one up foul. It'll be 1-1. Scaba 1 for 3. A single and then a fly out and a strikeout. As it's now is 2-1. This one, 3-1 count now. pitch misses for ball 4, so a walk to Scaba. And with one runner on, that brings up Jasmine Lozano, who has 0 for 1 today. And see what she can do here at bat number 4 against Schroll as she takes ball 1.
Let's see how Schroll closes out the game here. It's important to remain calm, cool, and collected, especially here in the top of the 7th. You're trying to close out the Eagles. It's your first win since 2019.
As here's a jack into left field, and it's against the wall. Westfall makes the throw into third. So a double from Lozano. Luckily, I mean, Westfall was in the area. That meant Scraba had to be careful about if she needed to tag up or not. If she had just gone, there's a good chance she would have scored. Instead, she sits at third. Lozano makes her way to second as we now have a meeting between the Cougars infield as well as head coach Sarah O'Malley-Fisher. And Parker, this is what I talked about, that insurance really benefits Schroll mentally here. I mean, you have 2 runners in scoring position, only 1 out, but you have a 4-run lead to work with, so you don't have to play super conservative, super tight. You just can worry about gaining out, even if it lets up a run or 2. You get the out, you're still up by a good couple runs. I mean, that takes a lot of pressure off that pitcher.
Absolutely. When your team's up 4-0, you're at the top of the 7th trying to close this one out. Although her pitch count is getting up there, but definitely that insurance does benefit her for sure.
And now there's a foul ball. First pitch to Ashley Fisher. Fisher 1 for 2 today with a single, a walk, and a flyout. And now another foul ball. 0-2 the count now. Oh, and 2. Fisher, the pitch from Schroll. In there for a strike. Schroll rings her up. Huge strikeout there from Schroll.
Nice response from Schroll right there after walking a batter, the previous batter, but then getting the strikeout. Very nice response, and the Cougars are 1 out away from closing this one out.
Runners still at second and third, so Cougars still have to be a little careful here as Taylor Openheis comes up to the plate. Openheis 0 for 3 with a ground out, a fly out, and a swinging strike. And now that one knocked foul. The next pitch and should and now the next pitch is outside for ball 1. Should mention that this is a pinch hitter. There's some confusion over the Benedictine numbers today. Some of their jersey numbers aren't matching up, but this is Emily Puentes. She takes ball 2 there. It gets past Gang, but no runners advanced. That could have been a bad situation there for the Cougars, but Puentes on the season has not had herself an at-bat yet. As she pops this one up, it's going foul. Robbins coming in, it's out of play, so no chance at a play there. So 2-2 count. Cougars one strike away from closing out Benedictine, their first win since April 6, 2019. Here's the pitch, and it's outside. Full count now on Puentes.
This has been an interesting matchup between Schroll and Puentes, taking it to a full count. Let's see how Schroll responds right here.
As this one is hit, Archuleta scoops it up to throw to first in time. And the Cougars, for the first time since 2019, claim victory over the Benedictine Eagles. Ashley Schroll goes the distance for a complete game shutout. And the Cougars get a big win in the NAC standings over the 6th-seeded Eagles.
It was an impressive win for sure, just considering the history between these two teams. The Eagles leading at 31-4, now 31-5. This game goes way beyond just the conference tournament, but it goes for the pride of the school, and it was just an excellent performance, not allowing the Benedictine squad, who is an excellent hitting team, not allowing them to get a single run has been quite impressive.
Well, look at the final stats from today. First for Benedictine, the only hitter having themselves a decent day was Morgan Bruno. Went 2 for 3 at the plate. No one scored a run. No one got themselves an RBI thanks to a certain Cougars dominance in the circle. And then pitching wise, yeah, Alex Loizon with the start gets the loss. 5 1/3 of an innings pitched, 10 hits, 4 runs, all of which were earned. Did also walk a Cougar batter across her 97 total pitches. Now on the Cougar side of things, of course, the star of the day, Arissa Santos, 2 for 2, scored 3 runs, drove in 3 runs, had in both of her hits a home run. So what a day from the freshman second baseman for the Cougars. Nikita Robbins drove in a run. She went 2 for 2. Jess Gang 2 for 3. Bella Archuleta 2 for 3.
And what was even more impressive was their star player, Becky Peroni, 0 for 4 from the plate, but the rest of the team really rallied to get this win, and Santos, as a freshman, stepping up big time with the 2 home runs. It was very, very impressive, and not just from an offensive standpoint, but from defensive as well.
And then, of course, this defensive star of the day for the Cougars, Ashley Schroll, gets the win, improves to 9-5 on the year. 7 innings pitched, went the distance, complete game shutout, allowed 7 hits, no runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. So great day pitching-wise from Schroll. So we are going to have a post-game interview coming up here with a Cougars player. We'll have that for in a minute. But before then, I want to say thanks, everyone, making today's broadcast possible. Katie Schrems on production, and then under the direction of Sydney Plaskas-Slaher and Kayla McLeod. Parker Kelly, thanks for joining me on the broadcast today. Always a pleasure. But don't go anywhere just yet. Post-game interview coming up, so stick around on the Cougar Sports Network. What's going on, Cougar fans? Peter Borkowski here, back on the Cougar Sports Network, and I'm joined by freshman Arissa Santos of the Cougars.
Hello.
Arissa, you had yourself a heck of a day out there. 2 for 2 at the plate, 2 home runs, an absolute moonshot in that first one, may I add. Also drew a walk, drove in 3 of the 4 Cougar runs. I mean, you must have been seeing that ball like it was a beach ball today, the way you were hitting. I mean, you had Loizon's number all day. Can you just take us through that thought process of your at-bats?
Well, my at-bats, my dad's here, so I wanted to do something special
you
for
show
him.
off a little.
Yeah, and my sister, she's a big home run hitter as well, so I'm trying to catch up to her as well. But my approach is just get on base, to be honest. I wasn't even looking for a home run. It's just kind of what my hitting coach used to teach me.
Yeah.
Finish the swing with the dab.
Of course,
That's what
always.
I used to do, yeah.
Fundamentals, important as always. And this was a huge game playoff-wise for the Cougars, 1 seed below Benedictine. And historically, this is your first victory over Benedictine since 2019. Is that something you and the rest of the dugout were kind of thinking about before this game, just how big a game this was against Benedictine?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were going into here with kind of a cockiness, we know we're a really good hitting team and we can hit any pitcher if we put our mind to it. So, and in the dugout, we're just all hands up, we're trying to be as loud as we can, support each other, and just be goofy and have fun, and that's what the best energy is on the field. And
then you guys are back at it at Rockford, and you're hitting the home stretch of the season, just 1 week left. It's kind of hard to believe. I mean, what's kind of the team feeling right now, heading this home stretch of play, knowing that you need a couple big conference wins here? I mean, what's the general feeling around the dugout about whether that be your playoff chances or just how you guys were looking to end the season?
We're happy to be here and together. We have this really good group of girls, and we all genuinely love each other, and we love sharing the field together. And I think that energy is really important coming into these last few games because we're a really big hitting team, and when we support each other, that's when we have the big wins.
Of course. Well, Arissa, again, great job today. 2 for 2, 2 big home runs. Cougars, they'll be back in action tomorrow at Rockford. That's a 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. start time. Coverage can be found at the Cougar Sports Network as a couple of Arissa's teammates come to join the post-game interview. But again, that game coverage can be found at cucougars.com. But that'll do it for today's Cougar Sports Network broadcast. This is Peter Borkowski signing off. Cougars take down Benedictine 4-0. Thanks for watching. And as always, go Cougars.